What's up, everybody? It's the Tabletop Tyrant, and we are in for part 2 of the Orcs and Goblins Army Overview. If you missed part 1, boom, right here, link will take you. If you don't care about any of the unit overview and you just kind of want to see where you can get some third-party minis, skip to the summary. I'll have the timestamp right here. So, we left off on Special, right? And we're going to go into Rare. So let's knock this out right quick. Same theme as yesterday. We're going to be moving a little bit quicker so we can get into this because there's still a good chunk to cover. Alright, Rare, Goblin Rock Lava. So you can take an Orc Bully, as we discussed yesterday. Orc Bully gave you Choppas and got rid of Fear Elves for the Goblin crew. He was also a 10-point upgrade. The Goblin Rock Lava was Strength 9 in the center of the Hole of the Blast template. D6 multiple wounds, so you were taking a ward save if you scored a direct hit. The outside of the ring was Strength 3, and that was still doing some damage to some people, especially if it was, you know, Toughness 3 mini. They were pretty much unforced to wound, and they had to take a save. Doom Diver Catapult was, I want to say Strength 6 in the hole. D3 multiple wounds maybe. And the nice thing was if you scattered, you could actually roll a die and re-scatter back on track or move where you wanted to. Because it's like a little goblin floating through the air. So it's kind of cool. They, however, cannot take a bully, so they will still fear elves. Snotling Pub Wagon. We covered the Snotlings yesterday a bit. They're not my go-to. They're not my favorite. I really don't like them. And honestly, this was a pewter model. And it was not fun for me to build when I was a little young tyrant back in the day. So I can't recommend it, but up to you. Maybe you like quirky, you like funny, you want to play to the aesthetic of the orcs, and Snotlings are the way to go. It depends if you're going for a thematic or something that's decent. If you want a thematic army, yeah, take some Snotlings. You want something decent, then don't. Moving on, we're going to move to the Mangler Squigs. Mangler Squigs were completely random. They had 3d6 movement, 2d6 strength 6 hits if they went through your unit, exploded in your unit. Really random, really awesome. I highly recommend them to everybody. I think 65 points, so you can't really beat that. However, same kind of quirk as the Fanatic. If they went through and they hit you, you were paying the price for it. So now we're going to move on and talk about Stone and River Trolls. Stone and River Trolls had their own respective things. I believe River Trolls were aquatic, so they could move through water, as if there was water on the table. And then Stone Trolls, I can't really remember. They had like a scaly skin or some stone hard skin rule. Either way, they're big monstrous infantry. Real good if you're going to get some ogres and you want some multiple wound minis. Maybe take away their stomp on you. Monstrous infantry had a really cool special rule. They were able to stomp at initiative step 1 on anything that wasn't monstrous infantry. So say you're going against orcs or goblins, they could stomp on them. Get that little extra attack for combat res. However, you could not upgrade to a command, so no banner, no champion. I would probably mostly use these models to take a flank. I would never take something on directly with them because I don't see you winning combat with them. That's just my personal opinion. And then you got the Giant. The Giant's awesome. Love the Giant. It's a very thematic thing. You're not going to be winning wars. You're not going to be winning games with it. So you got to really, make sure when you go in, you're really knocking it out. So really cool model. They still are in production. And he had a very random chart. If he ran, there was a chance he could trip and fall over. If he broke from combat, there's a trip he could trip and fall over. And then he had a big things and a little things chart that he would roll on to see what he did that round. Completely random. Most armies had access to a Giant. If your friend was bringing a Giant, I typically brought one just to kind of make it fun. Alright, so we're going to talk about Name Lords. You had Gorbat Ironclaw, took a Rune Fang to the chest, clobbered the dude that put the Rune Fang in his chest, and was last seen facing down Stunties. Anyways, really cool model, great mini, fine cast, I believe also pewter. He counted as being a BSB. He had always strikes first, choppas, he rode on a big piggy, and then on top of it, his weapon did D3 multiple wounds, so that's awesome. I liked him personally. He was fun, a little quirky, and I like the fact that we don't know if he's alive or dead, so you could still kind of squeeze him in there if you wanted to. For what it's worth, he was also known to be a very large orc. Moving along, we got Ozhog the Slaughterer. So Ozhog the Slaughterer is a bit interesting, right? Found the Crown of Sorcery, ended up being the Gosh's Crown, fought with the Crown. He wanted to be an orc, Crown wanted to find his master, and then they met in the middle. Eventually, he was arguing with the Crown, gets his head chopped off. That is reflected in the rules with stupidity. You have to take a stupidity check, but he also does something really great, where everyone within 12 inches of Ozhog is immune to the animosity rules. So very cool if you wanted to run him. However, he is on a wyvern, so he will be on his own. If you're going up against someone that's not fun to play with, they're not cool, they're probably just going to shoot him with a cannonball. Literally my experience with him, nothing you can do about it, right? I personally love this model, and fun fact, he was actually the most expensive model on the Warhammer webpage back in the day, coming in at $90. box, and the only thing that would surpass him was the Imperial Knight when they dropped that in 7th edition. So, for what that's worth. Now, if you want to look for him, he was pewter for a tad, and then he became Finecast. When buying Finecast for any of these models, make sure that when you look at the box, it doesn't have the box art on it. Why? 90% of the time, when GW released these without the box art, it was something that was released during Age of Sigmar's lifetime. When they first made the Finecast, rumor has it, and to my understanding, they poured the Finecast into the old pewter molds, which is why there are so many imperfections. So when buying a model with the box art on it that's Finecast, you run that risk of spending all that money and then getting an imperfect model and having a problem with it. So I would never chance it. Now, if you get it without the box art, chances are it was produced later on during Age of Sigmar's lifetime, and the quality is going to be pretty good. Not perfect, because it's still Finecast, but it'll be better than if you take the chance of getting a really wonky cast. Up to you. I wouldn't personally risk it if the box art's on it, because Finecast was really bad back then. To Warzog, the Great Green Prophet. Now, I believe he conferred a 5 or 4 up ward save to whatever unit he was with, or increased their ward save by 1. Sorry, he increased the ward save by 1, making Savage Orcs a 5 up, and I believe he came with a stock 4 up ward save, so that was interesting. Aside from that, I didn't really use him. Cool milestone production. You can still buy it. Grom the Paunch of the Misty Mountains. Ate a troll. Ended up getting regenerating flesh from eating the troll because it stuck in his gut. Pretty much terrorized Ulthuan, messed with the High Elves, and then I think his whereabouts are unknown as well. Skarsnik, Warlord of the 8 Peaks, which is a Night Gob. He's over there messing with stunties, as they like to say, beating their tar out of them, taking their holds and their home, and pretty much just bullying him, dude. I mean, he's kind of a rough dude. He got Snagla, his little squig homie, with him. The only thing I can say about all of these named lords is Grimgor Ironhide was probably the best in my opinion. He gave Black Orcs an option to become immortals, increasing their weapon skill for free, and he would go with that unit. So weapon skill 5, super nothing to scoff at, really good. I would look into him above all of them personally. And then obviously if you wanted to run goblins, Skarsnik. Moving on, Gatilla the Hunter. So Gatilla the Hunter was really cool. He could take a unit of Wolf Riders and give them +1 ballistic skill. Pretty dope. Think about it, because they're going around just harassing everyone with bows, and they're shooting a little bit better. I think their base becomes 4 to shoot, so moving makes it a 5 instead of a 6. Pretty awesome. Snagla Grobspit, I believe, is that wonky old spider model. That's all I'm going to say about that. Never ran it, never liked it. Up to you. Moving on, I'm going to cover these really freaking quick, because they're practically the same. Every race of Orc and Goblin has its respective War Boss and Big Boss. Big Bosses became BSBs. You could pay 25 points and they could become a standard bearer and bear that standard for your army. Orc Shaman, Savage Orc Shaman, Goblin Shaman, Night Goblin Shaman, all could be upgraded to level 2 for 35 points. Goblin Shamans took from the Little Wog, Orc Shamans took from the Big Wog. Orc Great Shaman, Savage Orc Great Shaman could become Wizard level 4s with 35 points, and the Goblin Great Shaman, Night Goblin Great Shaman could be upgraded to Wizard level 4 as well for 35 points. Wizard level is interesting. For every Wizard level you got a spell, and then on top of that you would add that Wizard level to your casting dice. So say you needed a 16 and you rolled 12 on your dice, you would add 4 to that dice roll because of your Wizard level. We'll see. Magic is changing this edition, so I'm not touching too much on it because we already know it's something that they talked about was going to take place during the phases, kind of like 40k. So we're going to go into Magic when the edition drops and break it down. So nothing really special here. Make your own story. Go take these guys. Do whatever you want with them. All the Magic items really allow you to do some crazy converting with your own Orc war bosses to just make a really cool thematic campaign hero. I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Look inside the rulebook. Maybe take the Battle Axe of the Last Wog, throw it on an Orc war boss, and just have fun at your own narrative events. So we're going to move on from that and into the summary real quick. So, my favorite box art. I love this. 6th edition just was amazing. Alright, can you get a head start? Yes, you can. For anyone that's wondering, the new Black Orcs at GW release rank and file perfectly on 25mm, given the fact that you know what you're doing and you add some corkboard. I'll have a video up on it for y'all if you guys are interested. Leave me a comment below because it's going to take me a bit to edit that one, and I'll drop it for anyone that's interested. Where to get bases. You can go on eBay, you can go on Amazon. I'll throw some links below. Where can you get models that are out of production? Now I didn't put that up in there. I do have a really awesome place. Avatars of War is a fantastic alternative to anybody that wants to get orc models that are no longer in production by GW, or if they want to have their orcs stand out. I don't shill for a lot of people because it's not my place to, but these guys, I've been going to them since I was all the way back in Fantasy, eating up their Marauders and their Nurgle Chaos Warriors, and these guys, they're like the unsung heroes of making great minis. Some are STL files, some are actual physical. I want to say you can get these physically printed here, and they'll send them. The ones that are painted, I believe, are pewter. I have personally done this Orc Shaman, which was fantastic, and I have done a couple of different renditions of this Orc Warlord. In terms of regular ones that I have done STLs for, the Orc Warlord, fantastic model, really cool. Grom the Paunch stand-in, and they do a Goblin Wolf Chariot. And then on top of it too, I've done the Black Orc Warlord. Really freaking awesome. Now, scooching over to their mini factory, I just wanted to do this real quick. They still do the nasty Skulkers, which are great if you want to run goblins. Battle ready goblins. If you have a 3D printer, you pretty much just throw these guys in the printer. They come pre-supported, and I have had very little problems with printing their models. I recommend it, 110%. You can pop 20 of these guys out on a Saturn, which is what I have, and they come out great quality in about 2.5 hours. Goblin Wolf Riders, again, they come just ready to rock and roll. Banner bearer, musician, bows on the back, so it's WYSIWYG, which is great in my opinion. And then finally, my favorite ones yet, Orc Error Boys. I am a sucker for Orc Archers. One thing I liked about the old Orc Error Boys was they had hoods. I don't know why I thought that was cool, but this artist kept it authentic to the actual minis, making them great, giving them a cool banner, giving them awesome bows, making it so the torsos already come with some bows. Really fantastic. I printed about 40 of these. I'm a sucker for them. I'm sorry. And don't sleep on Orc Error Boys, because they still got Chappas. They're still orcs. So when you charge them and you do a horde of 40, you get Volley Fire, and then also you get your extra rank of attacks. So you get 3 ranks when they're charged. It's like, get wrecked. He also has files for the traditional Orc Boar Boys, the traditional Orc Warriors, which came out absolutely fantastic. So it wasn't really much to show for, but I did want to get them out there. Links will be in the description below, because I do recommend them and I print them myself. What can we expect from Old World with Orcs and Goblins? We can expect there to probably still be an animosity chart. We can expect to see a little bit of a wide variety of range. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a speculation I've been thinking about that I think might happen with the Old World and how their rule books are done. But anyways, yeah, if you guys skipped all of it and at least caught the summary, this is kind of like what I think is important. Get your proxies, get your printing on, get your painting on. If they're going to put them out, a lot of people are like Tyrant, they might increase the base size of a 25. You can always just put that, take off the little rim around the base and glue them on the 25 and the bigger base. It's no skin off your teeth. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day. Everybody, I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow, where we do a little bit of speculation talk and then talk a little bit about things that we expect to see, what we want to see, and I want to see some engagement with you guys. What do you guys want out of the Old World? What are you hoping to get out of it? What are some concerns you have, and what are some things you're looking forward to? Everybody, thanks for checking these videos. Again, I really appreciate y'all. It's crazy to think that I'm at 162 subs. I never thought I would even get past 60. So thank you all very much, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace!